Hey everybody, today we're going to be making some rear metal brake lines for a 1983 GMC G1500 van. The reason I'm making the metal brake lines is I was trying to replace the rubber line, but I was unable to break the nuts loose where the metal lines mounted to the rubber line. Basically just damaged the flats on the nuts, as you can see here, and just rounded them off. Other than that, there's nothing wrong with the metal lines, but I went ahead and bought two separate pieces of steel brake line, 3/16. This one is 30 inches. This is the part number that I got, and this one for the long line is 51 inches, also 3/16. Here's the part number. And originally I wasn't able to get them loose from the rear line, so I took it all out as one piece. But on the ground, I was able to get some vice grips on them and break them loose, and that'll make it a little easier making each individual line. This is the part number for the rubber line, which is already on the vehicle. I already put it on. We'll use these to bend the tubing. You do want to get these matched to the size tubing you need to bend. They make them in all sizes. I have these from a previous job I've done before, making rear brake lines. But now we'll go ahead and get started. And basically we'll just take the line, we'll just match the bends as close as we can up here. You can tell this line's quite a bit longer than this, which is hard to find the exact length you need for once you bend it. But I do have here a double flaring tool to shorten the lines once they're bent. So, well, we'll just go ahead and get started and start making some bends. Basically, we're just going to eyeball it here, and we'll put the benders on there, and we'll just start just bending a little at a time. It is fragile, so you don't want to get too carried away with it. We're just going to try and match the bends up here as best we can. Similar to that right there. And as you can see here, it's not 100% perfect, but we're just trying to mimic the bends. And you can, this one will need a little tweak to install it, and we'll have to shorten it and reflare the end there. But you can see it's pretty close, and I think this will work just fine. Alright, as you can see here, I got the new line complete. I shortened it and I re-flared the end I trimmed off. And now we'll go ahead to the longer line, and we'll basically do it just the same way. We'll just start at one end and work through each bend till we get to the end, and then we'll trim it and re-flare the end. If you do it this way, where you have to shorten it, or for whatever reason you have to re-flare it, when you trim the end, you always want to make sure you put the nut on the hose before you flare it. Because you flare it and the nut's not on there, better hope you made it a little longer where you can trim the end and put the nut on. So you always want to make sure you put that on. But we'll go ahead and get started on the long one now. Okay, we have both lines finished up here. You can see this one looks like it came out a little shorter. It kind of did, but we'll go ahead and get them installed, and then I'll try and see if I can get some video up under the vehicle. Alright, we got the lines installed on the vehicle here. I'm on the rear passenger side. We got it hooked up to the wheel cylinder there. And we got it running back to the center line. And as you can see, we got it running along the rear end. We got it back in the factory hold down here. We got the other side in as well. Alright, we're on the driver's side here. It's hooked to the wheel cylinder. Got it going across the rear end here, and we got it also in the factory hold down right here. And then it just goes up and over. And back to the rear center brake line. I double checked all the connections, which you want to make sure you do. I double checked the connections at the rubber line where it goes to the front of the vehicle towards the master cylinder. Everything's good and tight. Now we're ready to bleed the brakes.